I'll show the boarding process if I catch another one. But this one, it was just the quick skinning of it. The vise is good if you can get them raw, as long as you can get the wool. Wow, you see all the bruising and the good news is when you see damage like that, you know it was quick for them. So, you know, like I don't like the idea of anything suffering needlessly. So if you can kill it, kill it. You know what I mean? Like set it up good. I wish I had better lighting for you, but we got one of those weird kind of anomaly days where it's really, really, really mild and raining, and yeah. And I caught this guy yesterday. He was frozen solid. I let him pretty much thaw out in the trap the whole night. He was. It doesn't take much to freeze these little guys, eh? So. And there you go. Almost to the legs. And again, I know some people will just pull and pull and pull. And they'll have it done in like 5 minutes, but again, you know, like I can guarantee you at the rate I'm doing this at, it's a lot slower, but I'm not going to be singeing my pelt. Again, you can use a spray bottle to just keep a little bit of hair, the hair damp, the pelt damp, so that it doesn't again, where's the shoulders? I don't know where I am right now, but you can get the pelt damp, and that'll be fine. But the problem you'll run into is that when you go to board him, if he's not 100% dry, that could damage the pelt. So that's the trade-off. So you're less likely to singe it when it's slightly damp, but you're more likely to more likely to do other things. So I'm just approaching his shoulders there now, and what I'll do is get my thumbs in there again. Not gonna hit the ground, so I got to keep his grease and oil off of him. I got to keep the bench vise oil off of him. You know, so here we go. So we're just gonna get to the leg. That wasn't a bad oops. It was just like he popped kind of oops. Okay, there's the leg. When you get to the legs, you can either stick your reach to. It's like I'm trying to show you, but he's fleshing too fast. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. This is good. Just watch again. You don't pull the little arms off. You know, like because again, it's a pain in the ass when you do stuff like that. But if you can get a screwdriver in between the arm and the wherever, or you can just keep rubbing them down, whichever. There, see found a hole, so I'm through between the pelt and the. And that is cousin. And just kind of give it a little nice tug, nice and gentle. Don't pull the arm off. Don't pull the arm off. I usually just like to get my finger through, and I'll finish the rest with the finger because, like I say, it pretty much rubs down. Big Dad Diesel there. Where the shoulder bone is. And once you get past the legs, then life gets a lot easier. You're almost done. And just keep, even though these are small animals or whatever, gloves. I know it's kind of greasy with the gloves on and a little bit slippy. Put a little bit more on them. Just to get it started. And always cut into the carcass. Never cut right at the pelt. You know, you're just cutting that little membrane just before. Okay. There we go. So I'm almost at the head here. Got the one leg just about through. Again, I want to do this without. This is probably the slowest mink skinning you've ever seen in your life. I apologize for that, but oh, there we go. Just wait. Give yourself, pull it right down, or you can pull it right out, right down to the paws. Usually you get it to the paw and you cut. See, that's what I mean by fragile. So there's this whole arm there. Very, very fragile. Very, very fragile little animals. Give it another little tug. And just use my thumbs to kind of rub. More rub than pull, you know what I mean? And that usually works pretty good. A squeaky trailer. You hear squeaking in the background. It's My uncle with his trailer or my cousin with his trailer, I'm not too sure. Right there. Oh, rub. And if you do them right when they're fresh, you just caught them type of thing, it's even quicker. This is after like one night, but he was frozen solid, so I couldn't do it anyway. So I'm gonna go along the leg. Now, when you're fleshing them, there's not much fat. You're just basically going to be taking off the fat, a little bit of fat, and a little bit of meat. And then there's like what they call a saddle. It's this red membrane here. You're gonna, and I don't think you can see it very well, but this red membrane here, you got to leave on a little bit of it, because if not, the pelt, it's opposite of everything else, kind of, where the pelt will dry so quickly it'll just become brittle and the hair will fall out and whatever. That membrane, when it dries, I'm at the leg again. Let's take them up to the wrist. Rip the front paw. There we go. And unlike the other one, I will go gently. I'll just cut. Always be careful about yourself, especially when your hands are cold. Always cut away from yourself, especially with razor stuff like this. So now, just about, whoop, sorry, hang on to it. Note yourself, hang on to it. And we're going to pull a little bit, not too hard. You know, pull his head off or anything like that. Underneath here, there might be some fat and stuff like that. You do that, free that up. Got a little bit of cheek meat and all that stuff. Why flesh it later when I kind of do it now? We'll just pull easy, easy, easy. And then we pull a little bit more. Not too much, I think his leg is going to go. So, just go gentle. If you think you're going to pull them apart. Now, again, like all the animals, there's two like jugular veins right there. Just be very careful. Because once you got that, then you're going to have blood dripping everywhere. And once you have blood dripping everywhere, at that point, you have to really carefully not getting it on the pelt. I'm just going to stay back a bit. And again, you could pull a little bit. Note to self, don't drop your knife getting all dirty. So all that dirt's going to end up on the inside of the pelt. And it comes down to presentation too. Like, you really don't want that stuff on there. So pull. We lost my blade here. Where am I? Okay. Got the head there now. Coming down the sides here where the cheek is. I'll be getting under the jaw. Okay. Get close to the ear. Almost done. So, okay, so this should have been done in 5 minutes. I get that. But this is, mink number 1 in a long time. And I'm just kind of cutting back from here. And once you get to the, there we go. Now we're starting to get into the bottom of the jaw, all that stuff. This is where it's, there we go, right at the head. You can see what's going on. Cut that right there. Make sure you're not cutting into anything you don't want to. Underneath tends to stay back a bit, so just be mindful of that. Okay. Well, that's his jugular. There's his windpipe. Somewhere around there. Pull again, not too hard, but just feet down. Got the ear cartilage kind of across top of the head. Keep the skulls. They are worth money. I'm going to do a whole segment on the skulls. Now, when they're fresher like this, those stinky glands that I cut into, I wasn't supposed to, but I cut into, you can harvest that, and now you've got yourself mink lure. Right? Now, mink oil, you can render the fat or whatever to get the mink oil. I'm not sure how you do that, but you research that. So you can get mink oil, you can get the carcass out of it for bait, you can harvest the skull, the pelt, keep the claws. Again, it's something else you could use. The bones you can use for jewelry. There's all kinds of stuff. I'm trying to think, and you know what I could use as much of the animal as possible. Okay, just down by the. Look, okay, there we go. Oh, I'm at the eyes. A lot of people have a hard time with the eyes, but just cut where the socket is. Always stay behind, like behind the pelt. You never need to get ahead of the pelt, and it'll just loosen up if you stay at the back of the pelt. You'll never have a problem. Almost done. And if you don't want the eye sockets too big, like just follow the pelt naturally. Don't panic on it. The ear membrane, right where I'm at here on the other side, is not that bad. Again, you just stay at the back. You can kind of see where the line of the pelt is. You stay at the back, and then you'll get down to the mouth. And once you get down to the mouth, then you're pretty much, you know, home free, right? And you just keep doing that. Almost done. You can even press on his nose a little bit. Yeah, that kind of keep more tension on the pelt. Again, don't have to go crazy pulling on it to the point where it's going to break it. Or not break it, but whatever. And then once you're under the jaw, then you can kind of slice in there, but it's kind of hard. I can't see really well. I know the lighting is so bad, but I should have probably put the head cam on this one, but I didn't. So again, when you get to the eye socket, just start at the back of the eye socket, wipe it across, wipe your blade across. This is where your knives get kind of start to get dull and whatever. And then yeah, then when you get down to the jaw, there's like a little kind of, I guess you could say like a grizzle or whatever. So I'm just gonna do that. Pull a little bit more. Ooh, pull too hard.